Hey legends, welcome back to the Virtus Performance Podcast. It's been a solid 6 months or so since we last sat down and surrounded this mic with good vibes and heartfelt wisdom and absolute rubbish. So today's episode is a bit of a recap on what's been going on at Virtus and in our lives over the last 6 months, and we're throwing out a little bit of an intention to finish the year strong with another 10 or so episodes and to connect with cool people doing cool things. The values of the podcast are all around finding cool people to chat with, and this is a bit of an opportunity for any of our listeners to suggest either themselves or someone else they think might be a good fit for the podcast, or to throw some topics or some lines of thought that you think we might get a little bit out of discussing. So if you have any ideas, have any suggestions, please throw them our way. But here's 35 minutes of myself and Mr. Simon Cooper talking about how things are. Huh? My personal and business goal is to be just a little bit better every day. I believe everyone, especially normal people, have a story to tell. The Virtus podcast exists to help us all find small ways of consistent improvement by discussing the journey and experiences of each of our guests. And we're back. Due to popular demand, the Virtus podcast has returned, and by popular demand I mean like 3 people and your mum.
Sally was a big fan. She wanted it to come back.
It's been a little while. What's 6 months?
6 months on hiatus, but we've decided to make a comeback.
Rather than talking shit and having no one listen, we figured we'd talk shit and
share it with the world.
Yeah, share it with the world. What's been going on?
A lot. It's been a big year, hasn't it? In terms of developments at Virtus, personally for both of us.
Yeah.
It's been lots happening.
What's been the most... And we're not just going to do a recap of the year. What we I guess the plan for this little chat today is to kind of dive into what's been happening both at Virtus and in our lives, and kind of set a little bit of a plan for the podcast going forward, and just to kind of catch everyone up with what's been going on. But what's been the most memorable part of 2019 so far, Mr. Simon Cooper?
Well, Mr. Lachlan Wallace, biggest thing. Well, university's complete, which is a big milestone.
Attaboy.
So knocked over the Masters, which is really cool. It was.
What was the feeling like after being a lifelong student now to move into the real world?
Well, that's the thing. Nothing really changed. The void that was left by uni work was just filled with other things. So I was able to dive in a little bit more at Virtus.
So you had a hole and you filled it?
Yeah. Wow. That's pretty joke. That's 3 minutes. Yeah, so I mean, at the same time, it was kind of good timing, really. I finished university, and then we underwent all the changes to our business model and client experience, I guess, at Virtus. So I guess my time was filled up with preparing for that, and I guess planning on what the next 6, 12, 36 months look like at Virtus.
Yeah, I guess it's a pretty interesting time at Virtus. We're about to hit our we're about to hit our 4th birthday, and I guess everyone hears all the stats about like how many businesses fail in the first year and then how many aren't there 3 years in, and I kind of feel like we went through a bit of an interesting. I definitely felt like I went through an interesting education, like fast forward education for the last 12 months of like all the things that could possibly go wrong, and being able to mitigate those and roll with the punches a little bit to some extent, and to spend most of the first half of this year setting up our new business model and then executing it on the first day of the new financial year. It's a pretty cool kind of feeling to know that we're still kicking.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's just Virtus has kind of entered its next evolution, and over the last 4 years there's been kind of iterations that we've gone through with like personnel, with our business model, with how clients experience our services.
Yeah.
And so this is kind of change. It was a bit of a bigger leap, but we are just sort of entering the next stage of our development.
Yeah, I feel like we're growing up a little bit as a business and actually creating systems and processes around how we... Because our goals remain the same. We've wanted to help people get to where they want to get to and help make their worlds, and then through reverse osmosis or whatever it's called, help make the whole world a better place. Yeah. And now we've actually got a tried and true system that allows us to do that regardless of the personnel on the floor, coaching wise, which is kind of cool.
I think we've definitely looked internally more, and rather than try to push our message out to as many people as possible, we just kind of contracted a little bit. And I think if you asked us 18 months ago where we would be, we were wanting and we were planning for a bigger boat.
Yeah,
right?
Bigger, more.
Yeah, but we shifted our focus inward and decided to solidify where we were at and get good at like the stage.
Get it good at being us and not trying to be a big box gym or anything like that. Like it's really easy in business to just want more and more and more. But what I've realised is kind of you add a 100 grand revenue, but you add 101 grand or you add 99 grand in expenses. It's questionable whether it's worth it or not.
Yeah.
And I think we look back at our values, and our values are all around freedom and community and connection and education and performance. And if we can, I just mixed up our values and my values, but anyway. But I guess the three values we come back to at Virtus are community and connection, kind of the same one, performance and education. And what allowed us to do that to the best of our abilities is, the reason why we changed the model.
Yeah, I guess those are the three pillars that we base everything that we do in. And we've built a team and a place where we can kind of live out those values and service the people that we care about and the community in a way that is true to that. Yeah.
Yeah, so for you guys listening that I guess maybe haven't been around Virtus for a little while, the changes we've made have been to give access to all of the coaches, but to really drive home the quality of our coaching, but also the quality and the ability of everyone to access our community. So, we've tightened up our onboarding process. So we do a 30-minute chat with anyone that wants to join, and we do 3 60-minute one-on-one sessions, basically with the goal of getting to know that person and for that person to get to know us as well as possible. And then after that, rather than having 400 coaching options, which we've had in the past, we've got 2. We've got our Virtus group training, which is you come in, have fun, move the needle with a whole big group of cool people. And then there's the Virtus Athletic Development, which is have a program written for you by a performance coach, and then come in through many times throughout the week, as many times as you'd like throughout the week, and execute that program under the watchful eye of a performance coach, but with the added value of having 2, 3, 4 other humans who are all chasing progression to hang out with and spend time with and train with. And it's been a really cool, from my point of view, it's been really cool to see all of our community embrace different coaches, ones they might not have spent a lot of time with previously, and for our coaches to be able to get to know, community members that they may not have spent a lot of time with prior.
Well, now that the a new client comes in and they're hiring Virtus as a collective, they're not just hiring a single coach, and that's the only point of contact that they have. It's opened up the whole community, I think, and now athletic development members get to interact with guys in the group training, and rather than being just a face at the gym that they see, we're fostering connection between them, and at big community events that we'll hold, it just creates more powerful community. Definitely,
and that community aspect of it, I think, is just becoming more and more important, as it's so easy to disconnect from people around you. And one of the things that I was speaking about this morning over some breakfast with a few of the guys is just, you don't have to be the loudest voice in the room, or you don't have to be always talking to be a part of a community. You can just be that person that embraces it and takes it all in and enjoys it, and gives out the high fives and the pats on the back. But you don't have to,
that's the thing.
Share your life story.
People take different roles in the community, right? You don't have to be the extroverted guy who comes in and is the life of the party. Everyone has their role that they play within the group, and I think it's important that people don't bring in expectations of they've got to be a certain way to fit into the community. Like, if you embrace your own personality and your individualism, then that just adds an extra sort of layer to the community. An extra sort of
definitely, yeah. Like, everyone adds value in different ways. Like, some people it's a smile, some people it's a hug, some people it's a kind word, some people it's 500 kind words really quickly all at once. And I guess that's the beauty of any community, is there's the extroverted people, and there's the introverted people, and there's the people in the middle, the ambiverts.
Ooh.
We learned that word today.
Who's an ambivert?
Someone who's a nice mix of introvert and extrovert. Play on. Absolutely play on. Which I think we all are in different ways. But I am excited to celebrate our 4th birthday in a couple of months, and kind of get the crew together and have an opportunity to connect outside of the 4 walls of the gym.
Yeah. What does it mean to you, 4 years? It's been
It means I didn't fuck it up completely. I don't know. I guess it's something I haven't really reflected on yet, because we're not there. So, hey, things could still go wrong.
Not 30 days.
I don't know. What does it mean to me? I think it's like, I got to give all the hard work we put in early on a lot of the credit. Like, creating something out of nothing is a difficult thing to do, but at the same time, it's the collective that's done it. I'm probably most proud of all the people or the caliber of people that we've been able to connect with and attract, and it's almost like anyone that goes through our onboarding process now is a perfect fit for Virtus, because we seem to in some ways, like, it weeds out what we put out and how we talk about ourselves, it kind of weeds out people that aren't going to be a good fit, and the people that don't want to grow and improve and connect and all of those kind of things. So
they quickly figure out whether they'll be a part of it or not. Yeah. If they come in and there's like a disconnection or a dissonance between people, then I don't know. It's like natural osmosis. It kind of just naturally figures itself out.
Yeah, and I think what it means to me is just, it's one of those things that it's easy to do and it's easy not to do. I think is to contribute to something bigger than yourself, and like it means everything to me. Like, my life's been so entrenched in Virtus over the last well, probably 5 years, and then PTing before that, and all the other extracurricular activities I did. It's been so entrenched that there was for a period of time there. I think I'm better at it now, but for a period of time there was no break between me and Virtus. It was all just kind of like that was my life. But now I kind of feel as though I'm able to step back and appreciate and see how the wheels turn without me necessarily needing to do much, which is a cool place to be.
Cultivated a team who are all committed to creating this thing together, and everyone's invested in it, and they're all are there for the reasons, for the right reasons.
Yeah, and everyone's got a part to play, whether it's Mum or the Fizz or Mitchie or you or me or anyone else or any of our clients. Someone that trains once a week or someone that trains 6 days a week. Like, everyone's got their thing, their part to play and their thing to add. And it's sitting there this morning, we had an awesome crew in at 6 a.m. Like, this is my day today. Like, awesome crew in at 6 a.m. So I think there were 13 or 14 guys and girls training, crushing their session. It was a pretty experienced crew, so I was just kind of watching and being like, there's not a lot to correct at the moment. And I was just enjoying, being a part of it. Just being a part of it. And then, went to Common Folk and smashed 7 coffees, and we had 7 or 8 of us at Common Folk having breakfast, and then everyone kind of left, and there were a couple of us left over, and we kind of just spent the morning talking and diving a little bit deeper than normal and going through some stuff that we've been going through and talking about that, and then came back and coached 9:30 with 6 or 7 legends in there, and then there was a big VAD crew at the same time, and just people that want to be better and that just want to embrace the harder parts of the journey, I guess. And every single person that I interacted with this morning is there for a different reason, but at the same time everyone's there for the same reason, and it's a cool thing to be a part of. And I don't feel it's a thing that I do anymore. I feel as though it's just a thing I'm a part of.
Yeah, the culture is just it thrives on itself.
Yeah.
It's like the people come in and they sustain this culture of improvement and growth and excellence and contribution, and it doesn't need much to kind of keep the momentum rolling.
Yeah,
people feed off each other, and the vibe when you walk into the place is such that you have no choice but to move forward.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much, and it's a cool place to be. Being able to look back at this year, obviously being 6 months since we've talked into this microphone, and it's one of those things that life tends to happen, and the podcast kind of fell off the wagon a little bit. It wasn't it was more of a active decision to stop doing it, more so than we just didn't have time or didn't want to, but it was just our energy's got to go into other stuff for now. And to be able to look forward with excitement in terms of what's been building over the last 4 years and what the potential and possibilities are, but at the same time just enjoying.
Yeah, being present.
Doing
what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
Where have your priorities shifted over the last 6 months and looking forward?
Well, I'm having a kid.
Oh, congratulations!
Yeah, so that's happening.
Little Facundo.
I'm not naming him Facundo, and we don't even know if it's a him yet. Yeah, so shock horror for everyone. Everyone already knows, obviously.
Well,
most people. If you're listening to this and you didn't know,
it's been a big 6 months for you.
Please send through some name suggestions, because Facundo is not happening.
If Facundo gets the dominant votes, then KP's already agreed to it.
Oh mate,
no, that's huge.
I don't feel as though I'm a selfish person, but at the same time I feel as though I'm a selfish person. If you can see what I mean. I don't know. I've always just done whatever I want to do. Obviously I'm I try and be aware of other people's wants and needs and things.
Responsibilities, but
Yeah, but ultimately, you know, as long as KP ticks it off, and it's
South America.
yeah. But that's like if I wanted to go to South America, so I just went. I'm going to South America. Like those kind of things happened, and I feel as though in certain ways I'm coming to the end of that point in my life. Like I'm actually really excited from a responsibility perspective, and I probably won't be, you know, when I can't sleep at 2 a.m. and little Facundo's waking me up.
It's sticky.
It's sticky. But I'm actually really excited to not be the center of my universe anymore, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what it does to me as a person and how I interact with others around me and how I look at the world and the universe and
Totally.
you know, like obviously I have an existential crisis every couple of weeks. But I feel as though that lack of meaning that the universe gives us, we have to find our own meaning, something I believe in, and this is going to give me significant meaning.
Totally. Yeah, I was going to say, like, it just adds an extra layer of meaning to your existence.
Yeah.
Like,
well, that's
your
it.
success is not just, like, based on you anymore.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now, like, the lens has just shifted completely.
And I feel as though it's kind of been a process like that anyway. Like with Virtus over the last 4 years, like my wants and needs have become less important as the needs and wants of the business and the people in it. And KP, and as those needs have become more important, like it's the answers, but like both are important. But yeah, this, you know, now rather than looking at, okay, well, what do I want Virtus to be? It's like, okay, what environment do I want to bring a kid up in? Like what kind of community do I want to surround us? And like all of those kind of questions start coming into it. And then it definitely does, you know, show that we're kind of on the right path. Like when I kind of ask myself those questions and answer them, it's in the one we're already in, like in terms of community wise. And so, yeah, the goalposts have definitely moved for me personally over the last 6 months or so. Since finding out, and you know we're lucky enough to have a lot of little munchkins, you know, crawling and rolling around at the moment. And
huge year for little ones, right?
There's been lots of little babies in our community, and it's kind of cool to see. You look at them, and I saw Bowie and Jed this morning, and like Hazel and Murphy yesterday, and just seeing them and just being like, "Holy shit, I'm going to have one of these things."
Yeah, it's nuts.
It's scary because it's one of those.
Can't go back, right?
No. No. I think we're past the point of no return. But in terms of like not being able to, that's it. Like it's one of those things that happens to other people. The way I've kind of been explaining it or talking about it or kind of processing it. It's like in my head, it's like it's one of those things that happens to other people. And now it's happening to us.
Yeah.
So like getting engaged to KP at the start of the year was kind of huge, and I was like, "Yep, that's going to be the big event of this year." And you know, over the last 6 months, we've sold our house, and we'll be homeless in 33 days. So if anyone's selling a house in Mornington, 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, that'd be great. Just let me know.
If anyone has a spare couch.
Yes, I might need to pull a couple of friend cards out over the next couple of months. But yeah, managed to sell the house and find out that KP's pregnant, and you know, obviously that shifts the focus a little bit in terms of like, you know, I'm thinking a lot more. I think about the future, but I'm not like a massive forward planner. So now it's you got to try and think about it whilst also enjoying every second. And
do you think your plans for where Virtus is going to be in the next 12 months has shifted?
I don't know. You're probably a good person to be able to answer that. Like we talk about it most days, but like obviously I feel as though I shifted in what I wanted for Virtus maybe like 12, 18 months ago, and you know, anyone that listens to the podcast probably started hearing about it maybe 12 months ago, that rather than just getting bigger and wanting more, and we spoke about this before, but I want it to be better, and I want to maximize our space, and I want to get really good at being the size we're at and investing in our staff and the people that we see every day. Like perfect world for Virtus, like we would have what's Dunbar's number? It's like 120 people.
Dunbar.
You know Dunbar's number? So there's like, someone Google this for me, but Dunbar's number is like a number of people that you can have an actual relationship with. So there's like a limited number of people that you can have a relationship with. So you can't just have an actual relationship with 500 people.
I think
because it's spread too thin.
Yuval Noah Harari talks about it in *Sapiens*. How like
sure
you can only really have meaningful connections with like it's like 100 people. Maybe?
I think it's 120, but I could be wrong. Coop's going to Google it.
I'm googling it right now.
So anyway, I want to find out what Dunbar's number is, and I reckon, because it's like a study from the 1960s, and I'm just talking out of my ass here. I can't remember exactly what it is, but it's a study from the 1960s where it showed how many people we can have actual relationships with, and obviously the world's changed a lot since then. Having social media and all those kind of things, we can keep connected a little bit more. But did you find the number?
150.
150. There you go. All right.
By British anthropologist Robert Dunbar in the 1990s.
Oh, 1990. See, I was wrong on like 3 accounts, but.
But it's a thing.
But the way I look at it is, okay, well, Dunbar's number is 150. Here's the deal. I want an elite community of 150 people that we can surround ourselves with at Virtus, and obviously surrounding businesses and things like that. And if we can find 150 awesome people, which we're pretty much ticking that box at the moment, and just continue to chip into developing ourselves and developing each other, then we're going to grow a pretty resilient, crew of humans. And if we can use those 3 pillars we spoke about before in terms of community connection and education and performance, then we're all going to perform better and we're going to learn more, and we're all going to be able to move on this journey together. And what we do is, obviously some people come into training in a transient nature where they'll come in and hammer out 6 months or 12 months and then move on. If we can be a destination for cool people with that, then we're doing our job.
That's I guess our overarching goal is just to work by those 3 pillars and attach meaning to them and be really good at what we do, whether it's we're the best performance gym in the area or whether it's
in the world.
That's what I meant by the area. Or the premier mentorship for students and for coaches.
Yeah.
Like, if we get really good at what we're doing, then we will attract the best, and we will connect with them, and that will become our community. And that includes online and offline, because, like you said, like social media and online relationships make it so much easier to maintain these connections.
Yeah. You can almost feel involved in someone's life before you meet them or when you don't see them all that often, because
it's weird, right?
You might consume their content or see their videos or photos or whatever it may be. So, finding ways to develop that in amongst our community that people we see every day, but then also people we might hear from once a month or once every couple of months, and it's something that I'm excited for.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I'm excited and scared shitless to kind of move into that next phase of my life. But it makes me feel a lot more at peace knowing that the people I got around me. If I get sick of it and want to leave Facundo at the gym for a day or two, I'm sure I can.
I'll take him. I'll take him under my wing.
Uncle Coop can look after him. Just teach him his fine motor skills.
Okay, sure.
As he grows, just throw balls at him. Throw balls at him. Yeah, you beat me, I say shit.
Yes.
And just knock him over and things like that. And,
okay, done.
And I think it's my goals for Virtus have definitely changed from more to the quality and that aspect of what we just spoke about. And I guess I want people to be able to rock up to Virtus 4 or 5 times a week and know that that's going to be the best part of their day. Hopefully their lives are so awesome that it's equal. It's just a normal part of their day. But when we're all going to have trials and tribulations and struggles and problems and issues and things that don't go our way, but if we can put ourselves in an environment where we know that we just need to rock up to get better, then we're kind of kicking goals.
Helps when you have a tribe of other resilient people who are all going through the same thing and willingly exposing themselves to like adversity. Right?
Yeah, and like speaking to Jeff this morning. Shout out to Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff.
One of our kingly humans. We were just talking about the problem being the way, and he said the answer lies within the problem.
Yeah.
No matter what you're kind of going through, there's always going to be an answer to find amongst the suffering, and to follow the Buddhist thought process. Suffering, life is suffering, and it's just a matter of finding meaning and enjoyment, and almost loving what you do and laughing in the face of all that suffering, because you know what's going to happen.
Yeah. What's the thing? Like, suffering or adversity is certainly going to come our way, right?
Yeah.
And there's no way to avoid it. If we want to live a rich life full of experiences that allow us to have these like moments of joy, but also of like suffering.
Yeah.
It allows us to evolve.
Yeah, allows us to evolve and gives us perspective, and allows us to kind of like helicopter over our lives and look at everything, and it almost shields us. That those challenges shield us from apathy and lack of like just not giving a shit.
Well,
that's almost the worst part.
Love, the opposite of love is indifference, right?
Oh, put that on a t-shirt.
If we move through life without caring about the people we meet, or without the experiences that we have, then like we're leaving stuff at the table.
Yeah, and
there's a lot more potential.
And this thing we're doing, this life thing, is going to be, it's super short, so we may as well have a crack and enjoy it with cool people in the meantime.
Yeah, the world deserves to see what you have to offer.
Oh,
Two t-shirts. 2
t-shirts. Yeah, how good is that? Totally. The power of change, eh?
Oh,
that's a name drop. Yeah. So for those that aren't aware, Coop ran his first 2 seminars over the last couple of months. The power of change. How'd they go? What'd you learn?
They were awesome. They were.
Talk to yourself.
It challenged me.
Yeah, it certainly did.
Yeah, it was scary, but that was one of the reasons why I did it, because it would push me to adapt to something that I wasn't familiar with or wasn't comfortable with. And we had, I think total we had maybe 30 people go through the 2.
Awesome.
Which is amazing. And I'm super grateful to have those people who are willing to commit to this thing with me. And I think everyone took something away from it. Whether they're going to carry that forward, that's like not up to me.
Yeah.
That's up to them, right? And they've got to be willing to put in the work after these seminars or these workshops. But hopefully I sort of was able to communicate what I wanted to and expose the edges of what they thought was possible in their own lives.
What was the intention of, like, what were you trying to communicate to everyone?
I was trying to communicate to them that the possibility in their lives is limitless. So, like what I said before, if you're not seeking out peak experiences or seeking out your fullest potential, then you're doing yourself a disservice, and you're doing the world a disservice by not pursuing that, because like I said, change and adversity is almost certain to occur. And if we are...
May as well be proactive with it.
Totally. If we willingly seek out that adversity, then we will evolve to a more well-suited version of us. And then that person can go out and seek out these experiences that will continue to challenge us, but continue to make us improve. And if we are just settling for jobs that we're not happy with, or relationships that aren't fulfilling us, then nobody wins.
Yeah.
The world, the people who see success in the world are the people who go out and seek adversity. No successful person ever in the history of the world has not experienced adversity. Right? Like you think of
100%.
like anyone, Phil Knight, the CEO, creator of Nike, had more adversity than most.
Yeah.
But he
Read Shoe Dog if you haven't.
Yeah. But he persisted and ended up creating one of the most successful companies in the world.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be someone to create a big multinational, multi-billion-dollar company. It can just be in your relationships at home. And if you want your relationships to improve or want more fulfilling relationships, then you need to be willing to kind of go through the crucible with them.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So it was like, I'm passionate about this stuff and I want to keep talking about it and have these conversations because...
If only we had an excuse and a microphone in front of us to talk about this.
Totally.
Yeah. So I guess...
Yeah.
So I guess the next couple of months, we're going to dive... Not sure how deep, but we're going to dive... Hey, Sammy Keck. We're back on the podcast, mate.
What? Podcast?
Say hello.
Hello, everybody. I was just going to check in to see if you still wanted to pump some iron.
Yeah, we'll pump some iron like 5. Too late?
Time a bit earlier?
4:30.
Perfect.
Done. See you then.
Bye, podcast.
This won't be up today, but Sammy and I are going to go lift at 4:30 today. How good?
Big.
How are the twins?
Are you talking about the pipes or the actual guns?
Your choice how you want to do that.
Yeah.
I'm really talking my guns up recently.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Which is
they're doing
alright.
very well.
Good.
They're doing very well.
Carry on.
Yeah. Anyway.
It's been a pleasure.
Right.
See you,
That
mate.
way up.
See you 4:30. I'm not editing that out either. What are we talking about?
The intention for the next months.
Yeah, so the intention for the next couple of months is to get the podcast up and running. This will be episode 90. So at the very least, we'll do another 10 episodes.
Let's hit 100.
Yeah, to hit 100, which will be a cool thing to kind of achieve. It's funny how you set yourself a goal, and then when you hit it, if you don't set another goal, you kind of peter out and stop doing it. Like my goal initially was to do 52 episodes and crush that, and did another 30 or so, and then kind of the last 10 didn't happen all that quickly. There was a couple of week break and things like that in between it, and life started happening, so the podcast took a back seat. But I guess there's been a lot of movement, a lot of change, and a lot of conversation in the last 6 months, and it seems like a good time with the impending birth of my heir. You wanted me to say Facundo, didn't you?
Totally. Little Prince Facundo.
It's a cool kind of... I'm looking at the next 3 months as a cool like period of reflection and self-awareness and things like that. So, I've been writing non-stop since like the last almost year, and it's now seems like as good a time as any to get this thing back on the airwaves.
Totally.
Back into the mind holes of the Virtus family.
Love it. Yeah. It'll be cool to do a little 10 episode series, see where that leads us.
And if we love it, we'll keep doing it, and if we get sick of it, we'll stop.
Yeah, but our mission to you, dear listeners,
dear listeners, sweet
dear listeners,
loving listeners, is
for you to throw us some recommendations of who you want to have on. We want to have these meaningful conversations, and if you're the person for the job, then put your hand up. If you know someone who would be suitable, or whose story you want to be told, then let us know.
Mate, love your work. We'll see you on the next episode.
Adios.